Whenever you are ready, Will.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to a couple people that helped me get to this place, and just kind of want to go through that. And because this journey can't be done alone. There's a lot of really great people that helped me and helped my family get to here. So I just want to start by thanking the Vikings organization. Coach O'Connell, Quasi, ownership, Mark and Ziggy Wilf. For believing in me and enough to bring me here and to get a chance to compete in this team and hopefully do good things for this team into the future. Wanted to say thank you to the Colts organization originally for taking a shot at me in the seventh round. 4 years ago. Thank you to Chris Ballard, Brian Decker. Some people that had a big part of my development and things there. I want to say thank you to my teammates, all the old linemen back at the Colts. Guys like that I grew up playing with and helped me out a bunch. Thank you to Coach Tony Sperano. Had a big part of my development, and he knows I love him. Thank you to Eric Rosemeyer, my high school coach. Really helped me hit the ground running when I got into football, and all the things he's helped to develop me. And then finally, my fiance, Isabel Tarian. She's been a big part of my support group and helped me go through all the thick and thin and all the things that have been going on in my life. And finally, my parents, supporting me from day one, making a ton of sacrifices for me and my family, and driving to games and driving us all over the places to camps and workouts. And my dad had me doing push-ups with chains on my back when I was in fourth grade. And I think it's safe to say that he was doing something right back then, and it's helped me with all my work ethic and things like that. So thank you to my parents for always being loving and supporting and sacrificing to help me get here. So those are, sure, I left out some people and some feelings are going to be hurt, but sorry, that's what came to mind, and I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, Will. We'll get started on questions. Matthew can kick us off.
Hi, Will. Great to meet you. We were talking with Ryan Kelly earlier, and he was telling us about your journey in Indianapolis, sort of making a name for yourself on their offensive line. I'm curious what Ryan meant to you and your development to get to the point where not only you could be a starter, but then a highly sought after free agent here.
Yeah, Ryan was one of my good friends, and really had embraced me from day one. He had a big part in bringing me into the group and bringing me along. And I was the only rookie when I first got to Indianapolis, and he did a lot for me and my fiance. Had us over for Thanksgiving and really just made us feel welcome. Not only to there but to the whole group, and gave me the confidence to be able to be myself and flourish and bring what I had to the table. When we started together, him being a veteran for so long before I got there, and being able to work with him and kind of communicate with him, he's super easy to work with. So he's had a huge part in my development. He's done a lot for me and my family, and I love that guy. And it's exciting to be able to keep playing with him and keep doing this thing for a couple more years, because he's meant so much to me. And my time as a football player in the NFL, he's been big time.
Hey, Will, where are you at with your leg and in terms of your recovery and getting back to doing normal everything football wise? And when it happened, were you in your free agent year, were you at all concerned it would impact, your potential to get the kind of contract you were looking for?
Yeah, I think any time that you suffer a season-ending type of injury, there's always concern or what's next. But the thing that kind of helps with that is kind of focusing on a new mission. And my mission was to get better as fast as I possibly could. I knew down the line that at some point this was going to impact me, positively or negatively, but I look at it in a good way. It kind of taught me how to reshift my focus and be grateful for certain things in my life. But it was definitely a challenge. There's nothing easy about it. I'm grateful to be at a point where I'm getting, a lot better. All the recovery stuff has gone well. We don't have to play football in March, which is great, but we're getting better every single week. So I'm super grateful for that. The training staff back in Indy for helping me out throughout that process. Excited to work with everyone here. Got started the other day, and we're just gonna hit the ground running and keep it pushing. So I feel like I'm in a good spot. We're getting better, and I feel good about it.
Hey, Will, I want to know more about this fourth grade workout regimen. You had chains on your back at fourth grade?
Yeah, that's kind of always the joke or the moment I think back to. But I don't, my dad always had me working out from a young age, and we were doing push-ups with chains on my back, flipping tires, doing all sort of stuff, getting ready to, for football and baseball season. So it's just good, hard work he had me doing, and I think from a young age that really instilled a work ethic in me that I'm not going to be outworked by anyone. I'm going to out train and do everything I can in my power to be the best guard that I can be. And I think back to those moments, even though I was so young and it sucked at the time. It seemed to really pay off and help me out going forward. So it was not fun at the time, but it's great now thinking back at it. It's kind of funny.
Hey, well, congrats and welcome.
Thank you.
Just as far as like as a seventh round pick, you come in and you kind of change your ceiling, right? Like
Sure.
what could ever be, maybe not in your mind, maybe you believed always, but what was the biggest key to that and really resetting what people could expect from you as a player in the NFL?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like you said, when you have that belief in yourself and that confidence, and that didn't come on its own. I had people that helped me out, and maybe even believed in me more than I believed in myself. Some of those people I kind of thanked before had a big part in that. Um, but it's kind of a weird thing because no one really, there's no expectation when you're a seventh rounder. Maybe you make the roster, maybe you don't. Maybe you're on the practice squad, but I always knew that I belonged in the NFL, and I knew I belonged. To be a starter, and I knew I could play at a really high level. And that's what I expect to bring to here is to come here and play at a high level and be the best I can for this team. I think the only limitations are the ones that you put on yourself. So as long as you're willing to put in the work, you can accomplish really anything that you want. And it's not easy. There's a lot of early mornings, long nights, and doing extra and doing stuff that people don't want to do. But that's what it takes. And there's no secret. It's just doing what others won't, and being able to kind of push through those things that are uncomfortable. And it's just those long hour days.
Hey, Will, welcome to Minnesota. I'm just curious, are you excited about this Vikings defense and kind of practicing against them and getting better? And what are your thoughts on that being able to practice against, Brian Flores' system?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a very successful defense over the past couple of years with a ton of really good players up front. Getting to compete against guys like Harrison Phillips, Javon Hargrave, John Allen, like those are some, the best of the best when it comes to defensive tackles in the league. And when you get to practice against those guys every single day, it's just going to make yourself better. And, that's really what I'm all about. I want to come and compete against those guys, get better, make each other better. So I'm really excited about that. As far as the whole defensive scheme goes, Coach Flores has a, complex scheme with, provides a lot of different obstacles, and it makes you think, mentally as much as it is challenging physically. So really a combination of those two things and getting to compete against them, all spring and summer, will make us, battle tested for the year.
Yeah, hey, well, welcome to Minnesota, man. What was it about the Vikings? I'm sure you had a lot of opportunity, but what was it that for you made Minnesota the decision?
Yeah, I think looking from afar and looking from Indy when you're kind of sitting at home watching other games, you always have a lot of respect for Minnesota and the Vikings and the way that this program is run, and obviously a very good team, and it's exciting to watch. But really, when you get to kind of put the faces to the names, you get to talk to Coach O'Connell and talk to Coach Cooper. It made it an easy sell. I mean, there's some genuine people, excited to get better, excited to improve this football team. Just the way they, came to me and just got to know them a little bit more, and it was super exciting. So it's a really good fit, I think, for me, and getting to know those guys some more. And I'm excited to play for those guys and keep getting better, and hopefully help the team get better.
Well, the Vikings investment in you is part of an effort clearly to improve the interior strength, the interior pass protection, in a league that has a lot of complex blitzes for people like Brian Flores, defensive tackles who are freaks and things like that. Like, what is the key to you guys playing at a high level in terms of interior pass protection? Like, what's the biggest factor in being good at that?
Yeah, I think first off, it kind of starts in the spring when everybody comes back for OTAs. Is building that communication and trust and camaraderie. Obviously, me and Ryan have that, but I think with the whole group, it's going to be important that they trust me and they trust Ryan because we'll be the new guys coming in, and it's important to me that I'm able to build that trust with Brian O'Neill and Christian Darisaw and Blake and all those guys, and that they can rely on me, and that's really my whole deal. Is I want to be able for them to be trustful in me. I want them to be able to rely on me, know that I'm going to do my job, and know I can rely on them. So it's really about building that trust, the communication, and then it's just you got to put your hand in the ground and make a stand at some point. Part of it's just mental and physical, and you have to take a stand and know you're not going to lose this battle. And you don't have to overly complicate it. It's just a couple of simple things done really well.
Yeah, well, maybe a dumb question, but is it your assumption, expectation that you're playing on the right side, or does it matter to you, or you guys even talk through that sort of thing?
That would be my assumption. I'm sure it's been communicated. Maybe I'm sure that's the case. If it's not, I'll play wherever they need me. It doesn't matter. But that would be my assumption.
Aside from providing you with your nickname, what extent of Ryan's impact on you, or what would you say is his greatest trait that you've drawn from?
Yeah, just the way he is as a leader and communicates. He's a very smart player. He's incredibly intelligent with making ID calls and having a feel for pressures and games and things like that. And that's a lot of stuff that's rubbed off on me. The way he sees the game, and he's able to help me watch film and improve my game that way. It's been huge, and for us to see the game through the almost the same lens of eyes, that's a big plus for the both of us.
Any other questions for Will? All right. Thanks so much for your time, Will. We appreciate it. And thank you to everyone for joining the last couple of days.
Thank you.